I'm broadcasting from my bedroom. You see my bed behind me. My hair's all crazy and everything. But I just finished watching a pirated copy of Black Panther. Um, I didn't plan on watching Black Panther. I just ended up on a site when I was looking for some stuff concerning Smallville and saw Black Panther. Then I just clicked on the thing about a couple hours ago, about 2 hours ago, because it's only a 2 hour long movie. And I didn't know they were actually showing the whole thing of Black Panther. And I'm telling you now, folks, this is a movie to go in the theaters and see. It has a lot of virtue in it, man. A lot of virtue in it. Not going to spoil the movie for you guys. Hell no. I want to say this about this movie. There's so much. This movie is very relevant to our times. A lot of great topics, a lot of great issues. I'm not speaking as a Marvel fan. I'm speaking as a DCEU fan. I'm telling you, you need to go see this movie. I'm going to go in the theater and see it. I just finished watching a pirate. It's weird. You would think somebody watching a pirated copy of a movie, oh, well, you know. But I didn't plan on watching this movie. I did not plan on watching this movie. I was like, every Marvel film is the same thing. No, this is not the same as other Marvel films. This film is not a comedy. It made me tear up a couple times. It is a sort of an in-house family kind of sorted out thing. Kind of a little bit dramatic. It's very dramatic, actually. Hell of a movie, man. Hell of a movie. I did not see it in the greatest resolution because it's pirated something somebody put up online. But I'm definitely going to the cinema and see this. I recommend everybody go and see this movie. These are the kinds of movies that need to be made. Kudos to Disney and the DCEU. It does kind of end a little bit, you know, like how the Disney movie usually ends, romantically, kind of like. But it's all good. I'm cool with it. I love the acting. The performances were great. This is an incredible movie. This is not Thor Ragnarok. This is not Guardians of the Galaxy. This is not Doctor Strange, right? This reminds me of Captain America kind of films, except it even goes to the heart. It's deeper. It's harder punching. If I were to say, actually, Captain America: The First Avenger was a great movie. I think this is better than that. I think, actually, I'm going to say this. I can't even believe I'm saying it. I think this is the best Marvel movie I've seen. It's better than Iron Man. It's better than Captain America: The First Avenger. This movie's good. It's got a lot of substance in it. A lot of substance in it. It's still tailored. It's it's kind of an adventure film, but I love that they don't hold back on the bruising and the guts and the gore. This is a good movie. This is a goddamn good movie. I'm telling you guys right now. So you DCE fans, and you remember, I'm an honest guy, right? I tell you from the heart. And there's a lot of virtue in this movie. I'll have to break down Black Panther in time. So I got Star Wars: The Last Jedi to break down. I got Justice League to break down, and I got Black Panther to break down. I knew I should have. Well, from the trailers I saw, the beats that they had, it looked like a Marvel film. You go into the cinema and you watch this movie, it's not a Marvel film. It doesn't. The story doesn't pan out like a Marvel film, and they hooked me in from. Let me see. It's interesting. This is an interesting movie. That's all I'm gonna say. Some things happen in this movie, and I'm telling you guys, if you're a DC fan, that's cool, but I think Disney upped their game on this one. This one is a serious movie. It has some humor to break. I'll tell you, the humor is really to break the heaviness, because at a certain point in this movie, it really gets tense. It really gets tense, and you get put in the shoes of different people, like things that are happening in the world today and how it feels. They literally capture that in this movie. And without being very specific about any one thing, I can say that to be in your brother's shoes is another story. And I gotta say, this is one of the best villains, if you want to call the guy a villain, in this movie. All right. This is a really good villain. He's not really a villain when you think about it. It depends on how you look at it. I remember William Ruffin saying that this is like a General Zod. The guy's like a General Zod. He is sort of like a General Zod, but it's in a different kind of way. And so, like, it literally rips into the atmosphere and the ambience. It's very palpable of the world today. Again, a very potent poison. I can understand why Joss Whedon was like, that's how you make a Marvel film. Hell yes. I mean, and I was wrong about Black Panther not being Black Panther. A little squabs about his movement and stuff, but hell yes, Black Panther. That is Black Panther. They went a different route in a certain way with Black Panther. I'm cool with it. I love the coming out of the shadows thing. I love all the ideas. It's beautiful. It progresses. It's Justice League was coming out of the shadows. Star Wars: The Last Jedi was telling you how to organize when you're in a rebellion for justice. This movie goes a step further. Let me explain to you what I mean. This movie deals with nationalism versus globalism. That's what this movie in its essence is about. That's the discussion. All right. And it's incredible because of what happens as a result of this, the balance that happens. We can see how this pans out to Infinity War. And it makes me wonder, Infinity War might be a pretty good movie as well, because Marvel, they make you underplay them. You don't really know what they're going to bring. And then when they bring it, they really brought it with this movie. Thor Ragnarok was shit. The last couple of movies, we couldn't take the characters seriously. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, we're not supposed to take the characters that seriously. So Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is what it is. But Thor Ragnarok was crap. Doctor Strange was like, meh. This movie, they got it right. They got this movie right. I'm telling you now, people. They got it right. I love it. It's a good movie. Wonder Woman came out last year, did its thing. This movie comes out this year. I'm pretty sure it'll bring about a social impact in the world again. I remember Black Lives Matter and all these things, but it's gonna take it to another level because and people are receptive to it. So I'm glad. And this is really a beautiful movie. And in a way, I don't want to say nothing, because if I say it, it might taint things. So I don't want to say what I want to say, but I want to say that Black Panthers and the Black Panther movement and Black Pantherism, it'd be too controversial to go too far in what I'm saying, but I'm just want to say that's just, in a way, even though it wasn't perfect either, and this movie is saying that certain things are not right, but in a way, this kind of addresses that. I'm not saying it captures it. I didn't say that. Notice my choice of words. It addresses it. All right, I got some viewers here. Let me see if anybody got any comments on this. Definitely need to go see this movie in theaters. I need to go see this movie as soon as I can get my monies together. Buy the Justice League as well. Buy the Justice League movie. Get this movie together. So buy Justice League. Buy The Last Jedi. Let me give you some other movies from 2017 you need to go buy. Of course, Wonder Woman. Of course, you need to go buy there's another socially conscious movie. I can't remember what it is. Blade Runner 2049. Buy that. Also, buy this. This movie's great. The story is fantastic in this movie. The story is fantastic. I love how they twist the plot and everything. You know, the story is fantastic in this movie. It's not, even though you know certain things will happen, it's really what's in between that has you still guessing. You're kind of biting your nails, like, oh my God, where are they going to go with this? Is they really going to go there? And they do. Other times, again, you're hoping they don't go there, and they don't. So it kind of plays into your emotions just the way you might want it, and you kind of big exhale, kind of like, it's good, it's good, it's good. They did a good job of this movie, all right? And it's interesting. It's very interesting. Trust me, it's very, very interesting. This movie is great. I also, by the way, just kind of got little clips of Baby Driver. I need to go see Baby Driver. It's a good entertaining movie, and it has, again, other aspects of things I never really seen in movies before. This movie's special. This movie, definitely the environment. I can't really tell you too much about the environment of Wakanda. You still get that kind of sloppy-ish looking CGI. It's all good. I don't care. Stories first. And they still are sometimes they're too, what's the word? Details. Marvel, you need to work on details. And this may sound strange. I know you do your thing. I know it's Disney, so I get it. But if you could get more details into your stuff, I'm talking about when you're, because sometimes it looks like a set, sometimes it looks like an expanse, sometimes it looks, again, too certain way. But it's okay. I'm not going to be nitpicky on this movie. This movie was dope, dope as hell. Recommend you go into the cinema, see it as soon as you can. People are buying tickets like crazy, so you're gonna have to stand in line and get your tickets and stuff. But this is a story worth telling, and this is a story for now, for all time, right now. Very timely movie. They got it right. They got Black Panther right for the most part, and I am happy to tell you guys I'm going to go see Black Panther. I gotta go work, get some money because I gotta pay bills still. But at the end of the day, I want to go see this movie in the cinema. I need to see it in the best quality. I need to get like 4K quality when it gets out in home release and everything. And I'm going to tell people to go see it. It's a good movie. It's a good ass movie. You need to go see it. We need to go see it in the theater. Support this movie in the theaters. Again, understand, I am not a hater of the MCU. I keep on telling you guys, if I see a good movie, and this is not just a good movie, this is a movie where you come out of the cinema and you come out different than you went in. I guarantee you that. All right, and it'll help you have more resolve. And I'm loving what these guys are doing. I'm loving that art is finally not only reflecting the society, but also suggesting, not really suggesting, but helping us to examine ourselves. Now, it's not preachy, I don't feel. Even at the end of the movie, I don't feel it's preachy. So it's good to have an opinionated film as well. And I love how they try to keep it to sort of a, it's not, it's not completely, but they try to keep it to a kind of Africanish feel of it. All right. And it's just interesting how this story goes and what is happening and the argument that's put out there. And I think it's easy and digestible for people to, it's easy viewing, digestible for people to reflect on as they are where they are in the world today. So I love this movie. All black, mostly black cast. There's some white folk in there. And it's just an interesting story. And I would love to see where they take it for the next phase of this. Love it. Good movie. Not good movie. Great movie. All right? Great movie. It's not a good movie. This is a great movie. You need to go see this movie in the theaters. Bring your kids, bring your family. For the most part, they can take it. And I hope that the MCU keeps on pressing on like that. They're doing a good job. They did a good job with this movie. Thor Ragnarok wasn't, I did not like Thor Ragnarok. What TT, you're a comedian. I get it. And I love, do what you do, brother. That was not personally, I didn't like Thor Ragnarok, right? And I'm just telling you my taste. It's my taste in movies. I prefer a much more serious movie. And they took the character of Black Panther seriously, and they put the stakes in this movie were pretty high. And at a certain point in time, man, after what happened, what went down, you would be concerned for a fictitious movie on the screen. It feels very real to you. Your emotions are gonna, your hand's gonna be in a knot. You're gonna be worrying. You'll be wondering what the heck is gonna happen next. And it's interesting. It's just very, very interesting. An interesting society too. There's so much to comment on in this film. So guys, go see this film. Go see this movie. Definitely, you need to go see it. I can see why people are excited about this movie. I just happened to bounce on it and watch it, and I'm blown away. So I'm going into the theater as soon as I can, maybe next weekend, this coming weekend here, and take it in. You really need to go see this movie and your children too. You see, these movies so far, what I like about Justice League, what I liked about Wonder Woman last year, what I liked about the other one, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, what I liked about Blade Runner 2049, which is not for children. Blade Runner 2049 is not for kids, really. But these movies make a commentary on us, or humanity, or situation. All right? And each one of these movies have something they're giving you extra. And Thor Ragnarok gave you something too. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. It's just I just didn't like how they presented this stuff. So on that, and at the end of that note, I don't want to disturb anybody anymore. I'm disturbing my mom who wants to go to sleep. I don't want to disturb anybody else. I just wanted to just say this. I just finished watching the movie, and I need to go now and get my ass into the cinema and watch this movie in the cinema. So we got to get some money together so we can buy the 4K Justice League thing, which I'm breaking down. You guys see me breaking down Justice League all the time. Oh, man. And Zack Snyder, I love you, brother. But this director of this movie, I love him too. Anybody who's producing substance, we need something, man. We can't just be going into theaters and just getting empty entertainment. And these are the kinds of movies we need. So I am happy to say that this movie is not just a good movie, it's a great movie. And you need to go in and see it. I don't care if you're a DC fan. I don't care if you like serious tone movies, you're gonna like this movie. All right. And it even has, it has a little bit of science fiction in there. I ain't gonna say nothing about it. I'm not gonna say, I don't want to spoil the movie for you. Yet I don't want to amp it up and make you so hyped, but I can tell you it's a great movie. I can tell you that from the jump. And I was wrong about this movie, and I'm glad I'm wrong because I happened to see it. So I hope you guys have a good one. Let me just see what people have in the comment section, and I'm gonna go to your comment section. Of course, it's all love up in here for Marvel and for DC. And it's all love also to, so I'm going to go see Black Panther. I'm glad I saw the pirated version so that I can go in the cinema right now. And sometimes what people don't know is the pirated version of a movie is sometimes something that can get somebody to actually go into cinema and see the movie in better detail. I'm one of those people. Not everybody's like that. All right. And some people are just haters. I'm not one of those. Okay. I was born on Valentine's Day, so I'm a lover. Just for you guys to know. All right. Let me just go into here, YouTube, and see what you guys got to say, and then I'm out of here. So I'm sure different people have different comments. Y'all will say, man, he just 360'd on us. Yep, I did. I sure did. So, writer, I'm having a difficult time feeling compelled to see anything in theaters these days. Tired of being let down by major franchises. If Black Panther is as good as you say it is, now I'm considering it. Blade Runner 2049 is the only movie of 2017 I don't really regret seeing in theaters. All right. Zod Writer. Okay, man. I'm going to say this to you, Zod Writer. For me, what I appreciate in movies is virtue, things I can use in everyday life. And the story in Black Panther is interesting because we kind of know what the story is. If you've read a Black Panther comic, you kind of know what the story is. And basically, they do go according to the Black Panther comic. So I have to say kudos to them on that. They go according to the lore pretty much. It's a little bit different to what you know in Black Panther, but it sticks to the lore pretty tightly. And this movie speaks about so many, I think, relevant things today that I think you should really go and see it and give it a shot. If you want to go in there thinking, okay, it's a Marvel film, it's going to have laughs, jokes, action, fine. You're going to be skeptical in the beginning, fine. Go in skeptical. I want you to be as skeptical about this movie as possible. Go in skeptical, because what you will find is that as you go through the story, as you go through skeptical, then you're being honest. You're assessing the movie for what it's giving you, but you're skeptical. You're not going in there to nitpick, as you know, but you know this already. You go in there skeptical, and you see what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? And I went in and I said, let me see what's going on. And I was kind of skeptical, I was just watching the thing because I was really looking at Smallville. It was an issue Smallville I was looking at. And I ended up, looking at it. And I'm telling you now, man, for me personally, I think it's a great movie. Not good, great. But I don't want to set your heights too high. It's not. It's a solid story, but not only a solid story, it's got stuff in there. You'll see what I'm talking about. If you're somebody who looks at themes and that kind of stuff, you're going to enjoy this movie because it's got a lot. It's saying a lot. For a movie like this, it's saying a lot. And for a Disney film, it's saying a lot. A film that I thought was underrated was Lone Ranger. It was funny, though, but it was also, it said a lot. This movie is not Lone Ranger, okay? But at the same time, it addresses certain themes that Lone Ranger had. Yeah. But not really. All right? So that's my way of saying it. More to come, too, says, I saw this movie yesterday and was not impressed at all. It was average, but not what it's all made up to be. The same flack they're giving Justice League, they should be giving this, keeping it 100. Well, you know, Justice League got an unfair shake from the get-go. The people were talking about what it was and where. Justice League got an unfair shake, so we're not going to go there. But what I'm going to say is more to come, 21. I would say to you that Star Wars: The Last Jedi, Justice League, Wonder Woman, and now Black Panther are literally elaborating on a particular theme of working together. We know Justice League was about coming together, right? Wonder Woman was about love saving the world. The Last Jedi was about the kindling that spark of hope, but now with the hope, mobilizing oneself in a effectual manner. Numbers are not everything. It's the hope that's important. Now, if you look at Black Panther talks about inclusion and exclusion. We deal in a world today where isolationism, everybody wants to be in their own little group and stay in their own little group, not reach out to the other side, not understand the other side. And this movie now takes all that we've been talking about in all those other movies, and it adds to it in that it's talking about a particular culture and civilization that wants to stay to itself. That's how their tradition was. And now we see that being challenged in many different ways. And it literally addresses, say, for instance, the refugee crises and immigration. And it shows both sides of refugee. We see both sides of the equation. We see refugees coming in, and we see people being refugees of another place. We see both sides of the equation. And I can go on and on and on about that. It even talks about terrorism, if you think about it. It talks about the state. It's a say, for instance, United States of America, where, you know, some people would think that depending on the leadership we see now, the leadership is, was it really what happened or not? You know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say. I can't really talk too much about things without spoiling the movie, and I don't want the movie spoiled. I want you to go in the movie and see it. If you want to, watch a pirated copy of the movie first. But I'm telling you now, you have to be persuaded in your own mind. It's really based on what you feel, how you think of things. But at the end of the day, my friends, for me, I can tell you honestly, having seen this movie, I didn't plan on seeing it, that this movie has virtue in it. Virtue we can adopt, and it's in some ways it's opinionated, in some ways it preaches to you. I don't have a problem with it. Andy Serkis made me laugh. I'll say that. Oh, you saw the movie? All right, W. Mir. Andy Serkis, Ulysses Claw. What a character. What a character. What a character. You know, he did a pretty good job. He did a pretty good job. At first, I was thinking this was going to be a comedy fest. You know, it had me nervous for a minute, but it wasn't. They went heavy in the movie. They went heavy. I like that, and it's a kind of Star Wars kind of adventure feel in a way. The music is not necessarily anything exceptional except for the drumming. They put drumming on top of everything and kind of give you that gladiator feel. That instead of being Nordic, they kind of put an African gladiator feel on it. I made it rain. Yes. The humor really was necessary in this movie to take the heaviness off at certain points. Definitely. There was a moment in the movie where I was like, holy shit, it's about to go down. Are we really going to see this in this movie? You know, I was like very, very tense about it. And then they broke it with humor. And that was funny. It really was funny. I cracked up. Because this movie doesn't have a whole lot of jokes. It's not really a hee ha ha movie. And I love that. So, Black Panther, you guys need to go see Black Panther. I heavily suggest it. I would like to know from you, Zod Writer, what you think about the movie after you see it. It's not, by the way, it's not a movie where it's if you're looking for great arts or great mythology, it's not necessarily that kind of movie, but definitely it's laden with it even deals with, to me, it deals with certain aspects of African culture is incorporated into the movie, not in a heavy way, but they put, they kind of incorporated that in there, like real Wakanda. So I really like that. Uh, Thor Ragnarok was garbage, it's outright, and yet it was received far more positively than Justice League. As duct taped together as Justice League is, it's still better than Thor. Oh, hell, absolutely. I think Justice League, even in its abridged form, and I don't think it's duct taped together, it's outright. I understand where you're coming from, and from different uh, perspectives of film, you would say that because you know how much of it was cut out. But from a perspective of what it is, for what it is, when you watch the story as it's told, as it is, I don't think it's duct taped together. I think it flows rather smoothly. There are certain places where it can be deemed, it is not necessarily so, but it can be interpreted as inconsistent with BVS in certain aspects. But I would not call it duct taped together. I'm not so scathing on a film I love. I've seen this movie 10 times, so I think I know Justice League in and out, and I keep on sharing things with Justice League, but I really want to go deep into Justice League because it's a part of a trilogy, and people don't understand that part about it, but that's okay. Zod I'm going to probably see Black Panther next weekend. Yes. Zod A Tale of Two Directors. I just don't see that. I understand what you're saying, but yet I don't really see that because the two directors kind of imitated one another at certain points. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. A lot of people feel that Superman, when he was laughing at the end and he said, I take it back, I want to die. And he was talking before that about wanting to live. Now, I'm going to tell you this, Zod so you can figure out, you can put two and two together. The people who did the CG for Superman in those moments, you will notice that their CG was done significantly better. And also Superman's face at certain points was moving by a CGI. So just so people will understand that Zach was sort of channeling Whedon, and the funny thing is Zach was kind of channeling Whedon, and Ezra Miller was kind of channeling Zach. So it's really interesting, and I think Zach, in a way, would be happy to work with Whedon because Whedon is an excellent director. So I think what you sometimes people attribute things to Whedon, which are really Zach stuff. And then they attribute to Zach some things which are Whedon stuff. So these two directors probably having a ball watching people try to figure out which one of them. But I will say that Justice League is one of those films that was sort of an act of love between two directors who really loved doing what they're doing. Not necessarily they got along or they did things exactly like each other would want, or even they did things which would be abrasive to us. For instance, I still say that Wonder Woman, Flash being on top of Wonder Woman, kind of squabbling on top of her. I know he moved like a speed streak of lightning and pulled away from underneath the falling stuff. But still, to me, for some reason, it grates me the wrong way. I can see, I've watched the film umpteen times, so I know, yeah, okay, if you see him still kind of struggling on top of her, it was because he was still running or whatever, so I get it. But, I mean, it still rubs me the wrong way. It's just a pet peeve. But Justice League, yes, it could have been so much more, but I take it for what it is. Sometimes what we have to do is take a film for what it is, and what it is damn good. In fact, it's a great movie. No, it's not great. It's good. I wouldn't say it's epic. It was the best. I'm gonna say this. I'm still struggling to think if it's Star Wars: The Last Jedi or Justice League were the best movies of 2017. It's one of them. It's either Justice League or Star Wars: The Last Jedi that's better. I've been struggling to figure out which one was better. Out of all the comic book movies I've seen, I think that Justice League was better in story and better in scope. Star Wars: The Last Jedi was better. I don't know, man. I've been struggling with those two movies. Those two movies are I think they're the best movies of 2017, period, hands down. When we're talking 2018, Black Panther is now going to be one of my favorite movies of 2018. It may be the best movie of 2018 for what it brings to the table. We'll see what Aquaman does. And I'll give you an assessment on Aquaman when it comes up. Of course, those were the two movies I wanted to see this year. 2018 was Black Panther and Aquaman. And Black Panther will not let you down. I'm not going to tell you nothing about it. Go in the cinema and see it. Leroy Khan. I have seen Black Panther twice in theaters. I place it at number 6 of my greatest movies. Justice League is still my number 1. Wow. Nah, I don't know, brother. Black Panther, of course, Black Panther is not better than Justice League or Star Wars The Last Jedi. Because, why would I say that, though? Well, the CG wasn't that great. It wasn't the greatest CG of all time. I don't know, man. It's hard to judge movies anymore. I'm an artist, you know, and I can see so much inherent value in these 3 films that it's like I'm getting a brain freeze. Let me put it this way. I got to go see Black Panther again because I didn't take in everything. So Star Wars The Last Jedi, I got to go see that again. Or I got to rent it and see it again. Let me put it to you that way. Black Panther, hands down, Black Panther needs to be seen more than once in the cinema. Leroy Kong is right. I've seen Black Panther twice. So let me put it to you in this way. Movies that give you something for you to walk in your life with, you can't put a rating on them. That's what I'm going to say now. And Black Panther is one of those movies. It's unique in its appearance. It's unique in the story it's telling. It's unique in the plot twist, and the story is unique in a certain ways because it puts you in the shoes. It puts you in the shoes of those people. Okay? That's what makes it a hell of a movie. It puts you, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You'll understand. If you are an empathetic person into it, it doesn't matter. When you go in the cinema, you will understand what I'm talking about. This is not a movie where you'll be chuckling all along. You're not going to be laughing a lot in this movie. It's heavy. Okay? Told you, I almost cried a couple times in this movie because it's heavy. But they balance it. They balance it. They don't make it too, they don't tip it over. It's not a rated R. It's a PG-13. It's not a rated R. They don't go there. They could have gone there. They could have gone there. Trust me, they could have gone there. And maybe the director did go there. Who knows? God, that would have been crazy. But that's the real life situation. They'd go there. In real life, you go there. This is a Disney movie, so they hold back a bit. They don't go there. And the way how they go makes sense. So it's not like they dial back without making sense. They make sense when they dial back. All right. W. Mir, for some reason, I came out of the movie with an African accent. It's not an African accent you have, though. Talking like that is not necessarily African. I guess that's a stereotype, but don't worry about it. Zodwriter, it's entertaining, but it could have been epic. Oh, you talking about Justice League? There's so much to say about Justice League. I just can't. I understand where you're coming from, but man, it's a part of a trilogy. So for me, do you know why I had to watch Justice League so many times? Because I had to absorb that thing. It's epic in its own way, I would say, Zodwriter. It's epic in its own way. You think that Justice League is better than The Last Jedi? You think so? That's a hell of a movie. The Last Jedi is a hell of a movie, you know. I've been wondering about that shit for a long time. Blade Runner 2049 is my favorite film of 2017. I love it. I love Blade Runner 2049. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's past. I love that movie. I need to get it on 4K as well. I want them all on 4K. I don't want to see those things on anything else but 4K. That's an incredible story, and it leaves so much for us to reflect on in terms of ourselves and how we treat other people, and even how we see each other. It's an incredible film. I love science fiction, and I think it's better than the original Blade Runner, even though that last monologue that the criminal made, or the soldier, was incredible as well in Blade Runner 2049. W. Mir, I keep saying to people, my son works, and I have tied my own shoes once, and it's an overrated experience. W. Mir. But all in all, enjoyable. Justice League is a big win for me. Leroy Khan. I know, brother. I know. I know. Why did you delete that, W? You were talking to somebody else. Sorry about the accent then. No, 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 no. You saying that you left the cinema, you left the cinema talking like they were talking. That's all good. W Mirror, my bad. It's all right, man. No, no, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Don't. It's just me. I'm an opinionated person, so sometimes I just let my thoughts go because I'm just talking. So don't don't always feel. You can say whatever you want to say, my brother. Um, it's just me talking. Don't worry about that. Yeah, man. Oh man, it's great to be in the cinema when comic book movies actually say something. It's really great to see them, you know. Um, and I was just tired of all the hee hee ha ha, and then you know, Thor Ragnarok began with a joke, and I was like, oh my god, not this. So I'm just kind of glad. But Thor Ragnarok. No, I can't be talking. I can't be talking negative things about Thor. Some people love Thor Ragnarok, so let me let that go. But Blade Runner 2049 was a hell of a film. Um, Beautiful, well laid out story. I'm so sorry it did not make box office. If that film should have made box office, but we're in different times, folks. We're in different times where I guess flushed out films and beautiful storytelling, taking time to tell a story and a story that's worth telling, that is not only different and innovative, but also uh, conceptually saying something of value to us all. That's what science fiction is supposed to do, you know. And I always try to explain to people, Justice League is more of a science fiction than it is a story. For instance, uh, uh, Black Panther is a story. This is all about storytelling. And Black Panther is all about storytelling. It's not about science fiction. There is science fiction in it, you know, this vibranium, but it's a story. This one, the nice thing, it's almost like, if you guys know about songs, the best songs for me are ballads. Everything starts with a ballad. I believe that Black Panther is a ballad to me. I'm an artsy fartsy person sometimes, and so for me, it's like a ballad. But it just so happens to have, you know, these little science fiction nuggets in them, and it was well relayed, so beautifully put forward. The actors acted so well. And even though I could, you know, I could nitpick things, I would not do that. That's how I look at Black Panther. Thor turned me off from Marvel altogether. Yeah, brother, I totally agree with you. But I'm glad Black Panther is impressing in a positive way. It's a movie that's needed for today. It's a movie that's needed for today. It's relevant. Um, the messages are pertinent to our times, definitely. It's almost as if Black Panther's in our world. They really made it like if it was in our world. Like I don't know if they're learning from DC or they're getting directors and Marvel's giving. I don't know what's going on with Marvel, but that was a hell of a film. Hell of a film. They got that film right. Leroy Khan, again, Justice League is my greatest comic book movie as well. Black Panther is the 6th greatest comic book movie for you. That's great, man. And I'm glad you already supported it twice. I was not going to support it at all. And just so happened I bounced up on a pirated copy of it, and I watched it, and I am now converted. I've seen it with my own eyes, and I cannot, nobody has to tell me about it. I've seen it. And for me, I'm sold, and I need to go see it again. So my favorite MCU movies are now Black Panther, #1, Captain America, the First Avenger, #2. Those are my. And you know what's amazing? Black Panther is only 2 hours long, just like Justice League. Only 2 hours long. But what a ride. Carries you through a lot of emotions, makes you reflect and think on so many things in that movie. And I love that. I love that. I love it. And kept it mostly true to the Black Panther character. You can pet peeve certain things, but the essence of who Black Panther is captured in that movie. Right? And so kudos to them. Kudos to Marvel. Kudos to Marvel. Thumbs up on that, Marvel. Great job. Great job. Great job. All right, guys. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Zod Writer, W. Mir, Leroy Kong. You guys, it's nice to see you guys. I see 7 other people watching. I really should have supported Black Panther in theaters because I was excited about it. More to come, 21. he wasn't impressed with it. I will be doing breakdowns on Black Panther. There's a lot to talk about with Black Panther. So when I start to break it down, you guys will see what I saw, at least in the movie. Maybe you saw it too, and then you just didn't take to it. But I enjoyed this movie for what it was. Had good action too. It had some good action in it. Yes, they had some CGI. There was a lot of CGI in it as well, and that's okay. Um, it felt like a grounded film. It reminded me of Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Winter Soldiers, yeah. It has a lot of scenes in it which are um, good, grounded scenes. And then the movie is pretty much grounded because the stakes in the movie, and you really will, my opinion, because I just saw it fresh. You will empathize with certain people in this movie. You will empathize with them, and you will see how principled people should be. And it's principled. You have to be principled. Sometimes you seem to be in a compromising position, but you must stay principled. You may seem it's not compromising because the principled thing to do. So you have to understand what the principled thing is to do, and so on and so on. And I like that the system wasn't perfect. I like that the system wasn't perfect. I don't know if you guys are understanding what I'm saying. I'm speaking in code, but the system wasn't perfect, and that's how almost any governance system in this world is. It's not perfect, and that's what I will say for now. I hope you guys have a great night. Zod Writer, I think you'll appreciate this film when you see it, because I think you're a person who, thinks through things. I think you have very, very high standards, and you're very critical of certain things. But I will say this though, that having said that, I think that I believe that things must be translational. I always felt that Wonder Woman was a film for the times, and not only that, but it went beyond herself and translated into society. And people actually, I think the Me Too movement really took off after Wonder Woman. I'm not saying that all Me Too things, where people are now losing their jobs because of it, is a good thing necessarily. Some people are being unfairly targeted, and the people and owners need to be aware of that. But I'm talking about in terms of people now not abusing other people, and people now having seen these things on the screen becoming empowered, and not just women, and we're becoming more vocal now. I'm right now about to go to sleep, and you can see I don't look the greatest in the world, but I just have to talk about these things because I think they're important. So I feel the translational nature of movies, and movies can have an impact. The arts are there, not necessarily to preach to you, even though some of them do, and I don't have a problem with it too much, but for the most part to reflect ourselves to ourselves. Let us see ourselves. And what I like about this movie, it lets us see ourselves in a different way, kind of like what Patty Jenkins did. And to me, Wonder Woman was translational. Justice League, translational. Star Wars, translational movies. Whether people speak bad about them or not, and they're in the subject of discussion, and they're controversial because they're translational. Because people don't necessarily, the first thing, when they see something that's different, and it shakes their foundation on what they are going by. Obviously, then people start talking about things, and the first thing a person does is they reject what you have to say to them. What's something new and something they haven't considered and reflected on. Then you give them a little time, and they reflect on it, they consider it, and it becomes a part of their life because it's something that comes in their face. Bam! Zack Snyder is really good at doing that. This movie, Black Panther, they're very careful how they couch this story, kind of like how Patty Jenkins is very careful how she couched Wonder Woman. They're very careful how they couch Black Panther because, of course, there's a controversial group in history known as the Black Panthers, and then this movie, Black Panther, is a comic book character, Stan Lee and some other guy put together. So it's kind of it's a touchy subject, and it's very careful how you have to navigate around it. So they did a good job of navigating that, I think. And this is not me going with the status quo. I'm an independent thinker. So, and I didn't expect to watch this movie this afternoon. After seeing this movie, I need to go see it again a couple times because there's a number of issues and a number of things they discuss in this movie. But I can tell you this. The more, and in society now, we've seen people trying to come together. Remember, Justice League was about come together. Justice League started it all. That's when people started to really come together. And I remember putting things up on Twitter online to people who were depressed about, you know, different governance, whatever crap here. And I keep on putting out hope and Justice League, hope. And then Donald Trump came up and did the State of the Union address with hope in it. And I was so happy that somehow that message of hope started to somehow got to his desk. I was very happy about that. Because it's not about trying to judge people for who they are now, but what the potential they have to be a force for good, the potential of each individual to do something good. And we have to stay positive. We have to stay hopeful in that vein. We have to do what we must do, all part, to ensure that we have a better future for everyone. Where once we are on this earth, we occupy to come. And as a Christian and as a believer in Jesus Christ, that's what I try to do. Even though you may not share my opinion, that's what I try to do in the world. I may not say Jesus all the time, but you know, and so that's what we look at. I'm not the best person in the world. I'm not, you know what I mean? But at the same time, that's what we try to do. We strive every day to elevate each other to another level, because as human beings, we're not living up to our potential. We're not. There are so many awesome things we can do as human beings. We don't use 100% of our brains. Just saying. We are capable of incredible things. Each one of us. I don't care who you are. There are some baffling things you can do that you don't even know you can do. All right? You're amazing. All of us, we're amazing. And if we could somehow put that together, oh my God, crazy what the world would be. We have a potential that's incredible, people. Incredible. But that's another story for another day. And I just wanted to say, I'm just glad for these kinds of movies. These movies are positive. They're going in the direction of not just empty entertainment. It's not just hee hee ha ha. And once they keep putting those movies out in the cinema, I'll be there. Aquaman, I expect Aquaman to be a fantastic movie. And again, it's going to be thematic because the DCU deals with themes. And that's the thing I love about Warner Bros. And now I'm seeing the MCU doing this. Hell yeah, I'm on this. I'm on their side. I don't know. It kind of gets me ready. I'm thinking, you know what? I might just watch Infinity War. I just know. You never know what it really be saying. You just never know. This might be something because, you know, and I see how Black Panther leads to Infinity War now. It makes sense. So I gotta see what's up. You know, even the fight scenes were better than I expected. You know, what I saw in the trailers, it was nothing like that. It was much better. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see. And I like that they kept it subject heavy. The action was secondary to the subject matter. There was a lot of action, but there was a theme running through that whole entire movie, and they elaborated on the theme. I would have liked them to do more cuts of certain things, you know, but they don't do that. They do the simple traditional linear plot, the traditional plot, and that's all right. It's cool. So they keep it linear, so it's easy viewing. Wonder Woman, easy viewing, you know. So Justice League wasn't necessary. Justice League was easy viewing, but they would move from place to place to place. They do what's called jump cuts. So sometimes they do a jump cut here to another place and stuff. So you don't like jump cuts like that. You don't like reflections. You don't like dream sequences. You don't like the more complexities of storytelling. You know what was like that too? Blade Runner 2049 at times, it was mostly linear, but it had certain interwoven plots. And Star Wars: The Last Jedi and Justice League had interwoven plots. There was a lot of jump cutting. So maybe that's what people didn't like as well. Maybe they don't like all the jump cuts. They just want to relax in the cinema and just go with a linear flow, just linearly tell me the story. Not too many jump cuts. You notice there were some flashback sequences, and there was also some not dream sequences, but vision sequences. This was new. vision sequences. I love that. They put in vision sequences in Black Panther. Oh yeah, I shouldn't tell you much more than that. You guys need to go see the movie, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. But I'm telling you, you're gonna enjoy it. If you like, if you have the taste in movies that I have, you'll enjoy Black Panther. You definitely will, and you will want to go back and see it again because there's certain things that you'd have missed in it. You're not gonna get everything. It's not a movie where you're gonna get everything at once. It's good storytelling, really good storytelling. A1. All right, guys. I hope you have a good night. It's 11:35 in the night. I need to drink a lot of water before I go to sleep, wake up early, and go back to work. You won't be seeing me online here for a little while. But I wanted to tell you guys about Black Panther. It is a damn good movie. It's a good movie. Not good. Great. Great. This movie is not good. It's great. And I went in skeptical. You guys have a good one.